Whoop. Hello. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Acceptable Batman Devilman Master Saga series on the Steve Lichman Twitchman channel. My name's Dave Raposa.
And I'm Dan Warren.
Together we run the publishing company Acceptable Comics. Join us every other week as we work on the Devilman versus Batman saga. And next week, join us for when we have our interview with the amazing Tommy Reffens, the co-creator, or I mean, I guess you could even say just creator of Super Meat Boy. Programmed the whole thing, made, a really awesome game. Everybody loves them. It's Team Meat. So, yeah, join us next Monday for that. It's going to be great. And as usual, today we are sponsored by ourselves. You can visit acceptablecomics.com today for a free preview of our books, available for pre-order. And obviously, you can visit our Twitch channel here, twitch.tv/Steve Lichman, for more podcasts, commentary, and then occasional review streams and other things like that.
Mm-hmm. As always, if you have any questions, concerns, or topics of interest you'd like us to talk about, just tag us at Steve Lichman in the chat. I will read them. We will discuss. We're going to be on for a little over an hour today. And so feel free to drop whatever in the chat. Before we get started, for anybody who backed our book, Steve Lichman Volume 2 on Kickstarter, brief update on what's going on. If anybody remembers the last campaign update we put up in January, everything was slated to ship in March. Obviously, that didn't happen. We weren't sure why. We couldn't get an answer from the factory, so we sent our guy Mark over there to see what was up firsthand. It turns out that they ran out of the red cloth to bind the book. The cover is red cloth bound. So basically, they didn't tell us that. I don't know why. I guess they just didn't want to stress us out or something, but that didn't work out that way. It was counterproductive. But they ordered more red cloth. It took a long time for it to get there because the manufacturer's in the UK, and it was a big order. Apparently, that showed up last week, I think, and basically all the interior pages are printed. Some of the covers have been assembled, but they ran out of material to finish making the covers. So now they're finishing the order, and everything should be shipping within the next 4 weeks.
Yeah, we got a timeline from them.
Yeah, they actually gave us a schedule because they knew how pissed we were.
Well, the whole thing is that we've had the delay literally
it's so ridiculous.
5 times.
They kept delaying it, first for the holiday Christmas, then for the holiday Chinese New Year. Then they came back in March and said, oh yeah, after Chinese New Year everything's going to ship. And we were like, okay, cool, March. It sucks, but March.
Well,
then March didn't happen because they didn't do an inventory to find out they didn't have enough red cloth. So it's just what?
Yeah.
What are you doing to me?
Yeah, we had this whole thing with them of they wouldn't, there was this miscommunication of how they wouldn't start printing without having without everything be printing at the same time. That includes all the extras and everything else that we're doing, which was all weird. It's why would you do that? That doesn't make any sense to us. There was all kinds of stupid miscommunication that went on for a little bit, but I mean, that's not the reason for the big delays. It's just been so strange to see the amount of different things that need to line up and what can be misconstrued in the back and forths. But it's been interesting. I mean, we definitely learned that we're not doing this again.
Yeah, we got to have a better plan in place for next time.
Yeah, 100%. We're not doing this again.
So I think basically for the next book, we're going to have to finish the entire thing ahead of the Kickstarter and get it proofed in China so everything's ready to go, and only then kickstart it.
Yeah.
Because this whole process has been absurd.
Because before, it's we definitely needed to do the Kickstarter in order to even, fund the time. It's you need money to make something happen. That's why we said that we'd be printing, basically a year later.
you get in this crazy position where like, so like I completely understand the negative comments we started getting on Kickstarter because obviously when something doesn't deliver and it's delayed out this long, it's like, yeah, people have every right to be pissed. The only thing that sucks, again, I don't disagree with it, but the only thing that sucks is that some people believe that we didn't even do the book. And it's like we've been sitting on like a 450 page PDF since like the fall. And it's like, that's so crazy to not be able to just show them and go, look at it.
Yeah, it's like everything was lined
It's,
up for print,
ah,
and we just have been sitting here.
it's been done for so long. Like, but yeah, again, it's ultimately on us. It's our Kickstarter. It's
Yeah,
just, yeah, next time you just gotta find a faster way to print it.
yeah, it
Anyway, yeah, that's
stinks,
all
but
moving. If
we're
anyone
pretty.
has not Kickstarter questions, or if you have Kickstarter questions too, whatever, just tag us in the chat.
But it's super nice to just hear that like things are finally happening. Like I don't. This
It
didn't
literally took us
happen
sending a
last
guy
time.
to the factory to in person go, what the hell is happening?
Yeah, because the last book we did, we didn't have this problem. Like we had a delay, but
Mm.
it wasn't like this. Like we had a, I don't know, what was the delay last time?
The delay last time was
I can't remember the
I
exact
think I
time.
think everything was going to ship in, what was it, May?
Yeah,
And then stuff got delayed until like July because Amazon sent the books to the wrong place.
right. Yeah, it was mostly like a logistics thing.
And then the Canada stuff got delayed because Amazon couldn't ship to Canada, so I had to send them all to Canada myself.
Right.
But yeah, it was
Yeah.
like I think it was like a 3 month total delay for some people or something. I'd have to go back and read it, but that sounds right.
Yeah, it's like we thought that was pretty crazy, but this has just been like, I don't know. You have different, I guess this is the opposite problem. Well, I hope it's the opposite problem. I hope we don't then run into logistics problems,
Mm-hmm.
but
We'll see.
we'll find out about that soon.
If you're wondering what's going on, we're on page 2 of our Batman versus Devilman comic. On page 1, Batman finally succumbed to the raw, untamed power of Devilman, only then to use his trick weapon, the Bat class Gundam piloted by his butler Alfred, to finally defeat Devilman once and for all. However, by activating the power core of the Bat class Gundam, it pinged a nearby Xeon satellite, making Char and his dreadnought ship aware of Bruce Wayne's activation of the Bat class Gundam.
I liked you trying to find your way through that last part,
Trying,
making
trying to,
him
uh,
aware.
aware. Now Char has only one option to manipulate the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, a foursome of brothers with attitude, to go after Bruce Wayne by making them think he's the billionaire funding the Foot Clan. Hello.
Yeah, what's up, everybody?
Clankwork wants to know how the Gauntlet of Goals is going. We filled out the whole March one. We fell off of the reporting in.
It's honestly, it's
We
like
just got to do it.
it's just the book stuff.
Yeah, we just after the March delays happened with the book, and we didn't know when it was going to ship. Our whole world fell apart.
Yeah,
So it's we'll get back to it. If not today, we have the whole spreadsheet for March filled out. We just got to go over it, and we started obviously tracking April, so we'll get back to it soon. We're still doing it. We just haven't been streaming the updates. Hey Dave, I lately started creating more line and comic work than my usual painterly style stuff for board games. Can you tell me if that kind of stuff which you're creating are usable in the game industry? Do you have that kind of offer when you're creating more line-based stuff? You must be prepared to work only in comics or stylized games. Okay, so they're asking, can they use their line art and their comic stuff to get video game jobs, or is it relegated only to comic stuff?
yeah, you 100%. You can use it for. I mean, just number one, you should have a foundation, like a strong foundation for drawing in your paintings anyway. I mean, I would say that that's for something like concept art or, video game work in general. I think that that's a big leg up on a lot of people because a lot of artists tend to focus primarily on just being like painterly and kind of BSing details and things. And
Mm.
it helps if you have like thought out concepts that are actionable from like a 3D artist point of view. So I think being able to draw the characters and the designs that you're working on with lines is strong. So that applies in that sense. But in the direct sense, where like you will use your lines within a job, you can also do that too. Um, I've talked about this a couple times on here, but when I worked for Epic Games, doing the Paragon game that brought up, and I'm waiting for some clearance so that I can actually show some of that stuff now that the game is ending. But I'll know about that later. But I did that for that job. I did line work and flat colors with like basic, it's like really simple shading on them, like just like cell shading. And I did that for Amazon when I worked for them on a game. And I've done it a couple times for different clients. Nobody's against it. I mean, I think there's a weird kind of, I don't know, it's like you assume you can't do that just because of what you see, I guess. But you definitely can. I mean, if you look at like movies, like we talk about like Mad Max Fury Road,
Yeah.
like the concepts for that movie, like they're not like incredibly well done, and they're not like paintings. They're more just like, comic-y kind of style with just cool
Mm.
designs, and it's fun.
And it's the best looking movie of like the past 10 years.
Yeah, so you can really get away with a lot, and you don't need to stick with any one thing. I think like, what was it, Matt Rhodes? Is that the dude who worked on Mass Effect?
Sounds right.
I want to say it's him. He did a lot of like line art stuff too for his concepts. He like mixed it together with like some basic kind of shading and things and made it look a little painterly, but he was like the lead designer for Mass Effect, like designing all the characters. So if he can do that, then yeah, there's really nothing to worry about. Just as long as you have cool ideas.
If Espero says Monster Hunter or Bloodborne, for me, probably Bloodborne, just because everything in it looks amazing. It's like I play more Monster Hunter because it's designed to play casually, but like I don't know, Bloodborne's like a work of art.
Yeah, I definitely like Bloodborne as a thing. Like
It's like a perfect thing.
yeah, it's almost like its own. I don't know. It's like illustration kind of like it's like you're looking at an
Yeah.
actual like piece of something. It's really cool. All the design and everything's so solid.
Is this based on a true story? Yes,
Yeah.
100%.
Yes, this is 100% based on a true story.
Will we ever get a chance to see your very first comic that you both created? You can already see it. It's Steve Lichman. It's up online, and you can get the books. If you're referencing the comic with multiple quotations around it, we started doing in high school together when we became friends. It was never a comic because we never actually drew pages. What we did do is design hundreds of characters and write 2,000 years of history for the world that it took place in, without
It's,
actually ever drawing a page of comics.
it's incredibly nerdy.
Yeah. So maybe we'll show some of that stuff.
Yeah, wait till you meet the Red Baron.
The Red Baron and his oh my god, his friend Geist, the monk who was tortured and had to learn to send his soul out of his body to not feel the pain.
As you can tell.
Or the villain Vinquist, creator of the Soul Engine. Hello. These are all real things.
Yep, we were big losers.
Would a
Still big
publisher
losers.
publish a comic that is or had been officially available online for free? Thanks. Didn't Cyanide and Happiness do that?
Tons of companies do that. Um, like anthologies. Like people put those out on Kickstarter all the time. Like a lot of the web comics that you'll see
Mhm.
on Kickstarter are all free online, but they just put together a book, and then the people that like the web comic will go and buy the book. And it's basically the same thing we did, except that we don't have everything we've done online. Like we only have 90 pages of our material up, and there's 687 pages
Mhm.
that we've actually done.
Which is insane.
Yeah.
Didn't know one's seen any of those. Anyway, what are some great resources / exercises to learn storytelling? I mean, consume a lot of stuff, I think, is probably the best advice. There's definitely books on like story structure and script structure and like hero's journey stuff and like basic outlines for what makes a story that works and why, with setups and payoffs and character development. Like there's good books on that. I'd say more importantly, figure out what you like and why you like it, and like, just watch lots of things and figure out why things work and why things don't work.
Yeah. I think for us, when we're doing things, like we're so into ideas that it's more of a matter of like what not to do now, just because
Yeah.
we understand the time that's needed. But
Yeah.
if you're just getting into it, and or like you do have an idea or whatever, and you're trying to learn the fundamentals, then I'd say, like, yeah, start reading books. There's a John. It's not Trilby, because that's a hat, but it's something like that. It's like John Truby. It's a storybook, and then you can kind of go from there. There's like a ton of screenplay books, like how to write a screenplay. I think those are really helpful for just understanding basic story structure, because most of us, it's like we understand story through movies, most people, because not a lot of people read. So those books are great because they use a ton of examples of why things work from multiple sources that you'd recognize. So I think it's easier to kind of like break down the info of why something works that way.
Definitely.
And I would suggest checking out books on writing screenplays and story structure in that sense. Like the those books, they're not just for screenplays; they're for writing like novels too. Like, and it says that in the books. I think one's called The Art of Story, something like that. But yeah, check those out. Books like that, they're really helpful.
I don't know if you can hear this, but I got to take my dog out.
Okay.
She's freaking out, scratching the mat that my chair's on and pushing her head into me. So I'll be back in like 5 minutes.
Sure. Let me open the stream. I hope you guys don't hear this suddenly echo. Let me mute it and pause it. All right. Now I can see the chat and draw this throne. I've been waiting to get back to this comic. It stinks because all I really want to do is like work on comic stuff, but we're doing so many other things logistically that it's been kind of shitty to just like have to take such a long break from doing everything. It's my favorite kind of work to do now, and I don't know. It's a bummer to have to take time away from it, like just to do something completely non-art related. Hopefully in the future, Dan and I have enough of an income or something to like hire help. That would be great, so that we could have somebody handle all the extra work for us that's nothing to do with art. Forrest asks, got any tips on how to take out our annoying neighbors? Take them out. Like murder? Like the best way to murder somebody? Probably with a club. You go over there with a club, and then you find the soft spot of their head, and you just smash it in. You just smash it in with all of your power, and you think about think about something you hate more than anything, and just channel it into the end of the baseball bat that you're using or the club. And I mean, that's the easiest way to murder somebody, I guess. It's simple. Most people have a club. Uh, Other than that, mm, what would you do? I don't know. Wild animals in the house, something like that. Find a way into the walls and live there for a little while. Carve holes out. Stick your fingers through them and stuff. Freak them out. Grizz Grizco asks about line work in the AAA games industry. You said about the work on the characters. Do you think that will work on the environment concepts as well? Probably not the same. I mean, I'm guessing you could do that. It just sounds time consuming because with like the environment stuff, it's a lot easier to imply a lot of that work in a painting than it is to do that in like a illustrated environment. Not that you couldn't do that. And I think you should draw some things like if it's, like statuary or something very ornate that's meant to be designed out so that somebody can look at it and recreate it in a 3D space, then I think you'd probably want to do some line work for something like that just to make sure that all your ideas are coming across. But outside of kind of man-made things, when it comes to like the forest and whatever else, like yeah, you probably don't really want to do lines for everything in the forest. Although there are ways of implying things with like inks and stuff, but it takes a lot of practice as well, I think, to do that like successfully. I've seen a lot of people do it, but I think it's harder to imply all that. Or it can
Back.
be anyway. Yo,
Sorry, my dog had to pee.
that's cool. I was just answering some questions.
Where
I
you at with the questions? I can pick up.
I just answered Grisezco's. I don't know if there
Cool.
was more before that. And I gave Forrest advice on how to murder people.
Oh, good. He needs it.
Yeah.
Let's see. We talked about storytelling. Rosesco's is there. Was it the one about the AAA games industry?
Yeah, I answered that one.
Cool. Take out annoying neighbors. Forest. Yeah, good. Dave, were you nervous on the day that you proposed to Kim?
Yeah, I definitely was. I had a whole plan for a different way of doing it that I won't say on here because I'm still going to do it. Dan knows what it is.
I know what it is.
It was just too complicated for what I was, where I was at. So, um, yeah, I mean, nervous not in the sense of like yes or no. Nervous more just like, is this good enough?
Right.
That's really like kind of what I always am worried about is like,
It's the forever thing. This is the story we got to retell.
yeah, so it's like, is this cool? Like, is this gonna be something that's, I don't know, worth talking about? That's more of what I was afraid of. Am I lame?
No, that's good. I think a lot of people don't care.
No, I was asking myself that question as if
Oh,
I were
okay.
back then.
Sure. What kind of dog do I have? She's a lab terrier mix. So she's like a little tiny black lab, basically.
It's a bullshit dog. That's what it's
Yeah, it's a
called.
bullshit dog.
It's a bullshit terrier.
Some kind of mutt. Some useless mutt. Hey guys, wanted to say thank you for turning me on to Nathan Fielder. From hearing you'd have him voice Steve Litchman, I've become obsessed with his humor. Yeah, he's great. Nathan For You is like one of the best shows ever.
Yeah, it
It's
seriously
so
is.
good.
If you've never seen that show, the one where he has where it plays like the tense music, like dun 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 dun, dun and it's like
Yeah.
tonight, like he has to get out of handcuffs as like like the way a magician gets out of handcuffs, Or a
Mhm.
robotic arm will pull his pants down in front of a bunch of 12-year-olds.
And he'll become a sex offender.
And he'll become a sex offender for the rest of his
Yeah.
life. That one made me laugh so hard.
I love the one when he hires the manhunter to find him and he dresses up a ton of other people like him.
Yeah. And it's like him with real people. It's not
It's the
like
best.
staged stuff.
Both episodes with the ghost house lady are two of the greatest.
Yeah, that one is one of the best ones ever. That was so fucking funny.
Krasesko says he asks this because he fell in love with environment shoots from Sean Murray did in the Batman White Knight, and I wish to do that kind of work for games. Yeah, his environments are great.
I mean, you probably could. You really just got to get onto a team and then start working on it. And if they go like, "Hey, man, we really appreciate the effort, but that's dog shit," then you just go, "Okay, I guess this is the wrong direction
Hmm.
for this company." But give it a shot. You know, try and make people like what you like.
Groove Holmes just subscribed with Twitch
Groove?
Prime.
What? Come
Thank
on,
you.
Groove.
Love you.
I think you just made me come, Groove.
Miguel Laredo says, are you guys ever going to
Good.
do another drawing of the chicken with breasts? There's hundreds of drawings of him in Steve Lichman Volume 2, available now at stevelichman.com.
I like that. The chicken with breasts.
Yeah, it's pretty good. How is the transition from painting illustrations to line work only based? Hold on. Hold on, let me rephrase this.
Sure,
How's
sure.
the transition from painting illustrations to line work only based work? How has that worked out? Is it better or faster to produce artwork from your perspective? I've been thinking about switching to line art only myself.
Uh, I think it makes you a faster artist for sure because if you come primarily from a painting background and you don't do a lot of line art, especially in like the foundations of your paintings, then you tend to rely on implication. So like you're basically like kind of fudging details in lieu of actual structure. Then I think it can help you like tremendously. And for me, that's been the case where I've kind of come around to all of my shortcomings through learning just how to draw in general. And it's made me a much faster painter because of that. So now I'm painting more deliberately. And yeah, I'm able to, put out full paintings in no time now. Like I can do, I could probably cut my production time in like half. Team Meet is not next week. It's not all of Team Meet. It's just Tommy Reffens, who's the programmer. So
But we got some meat and we got some cream, so it's hashtag beef stroganoff
yeah, it's
next
hashtag
week.
beef stroganoff next week.
I have not seen Whiplash. Dave saw it, said it was good.
I loved Whiplash. I liked Whiplash the same way I liked Jiro Dreams of Sushi,
Mm.
where I watched Jiro Dreams of Sushi, and it's actually one of the reasons why, if I'm really like thinking about it, like I think that's one of the reasons why Volume Two is the way that it is,
Sure.
because I was doing so much work on that book. And I remember seeing Jiro Dreams of Sushi and seeing like how dedicated he was. And the same thing with like Miyazaki.
Mm.
And it just made me so upset. Like I get weird. Like I get this weird kind of like goosebumps motivation thing. Do you know what I'm talking about? Where like you see
Yeah.
somebody do something and it makes
And it
you
makes
like
you feel totally inferior. You go, oh, I should and I could and should be working that hard on what I do.
right. Like it almost made me like mad. Or
Yeah.
like when you're a little kid and you get teary eyed,
Mhm.
like that kind of feeling of like, what am I doing? So I had that kind of feeling watching like both of those movies, and but after watching like Jiro Dreams of Sushi, that was like, I was like, why couldn't I do multiple pages a day? Like, why couldn't I do like, why couldn't you do like a huge book like that in a year or
Yeah.
under a year and that kind of stuff.
And we can now.
Yeah, yeah. So that
We
kind of stuff
can.
is really motivating to just like create new normals for yourself. And yeah, I loved Whiplash for that reason. Like that was such a good movie.
I still haven't seen it.
Such a good movie. You'd love it.
I will say, if you haven't seen the black and chrome cut of Fury Road and you find a theater that's showing it, go see it. It's so good. Did that this weekend and it was great. What a great movie. Yep, we're talking to Tommy next week. It'll be fun. We were going to do it last week, but we forgot that it was PAX.
Yeah, and Tommy was way too busy. We didn't want to push him.
Thanks for the Daggers and Golden Boys, guys. Yeah, no problem. It feels like it was 20 years ago.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
How many years ago was it?
Okay, so it was the year after I graduated. So it's 2012. Yeah,
Okay.
it's 2012. It's technically 2011, but second half of 2011. Feels like it was longer ago than 7 years,
Definitely does.
but I guess not. If anyone has any questions, topics, concerns, anything at all, throw them in the
Concerns.
chat. Tag us at Steve Lichman so we see it. Dave is painting
Painting.
drawing the throne of Char.
Yeah, sorry if this is
Currently
incredibly
painting
boring.
the hydraulic lift that it is on the bridge of his Dreadnought class starship.
If you guys are wondering where I get completely lost, this is the part.
Yeah,
This is the part where I start drawing machinery
that you don't need to draw.
and you just go, why?
Why is
Why
that?
all the detail? Oh, why? Because I like the way Akira backgrounds look, okay? I like the way they look. Look so detailed.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to do that.
Let's get those details on. If you're wondering why Arthur is on Char's screen, there's also Lupin the Third, Geralt of Rivia, a few other, well-known individuals across the galaxy that could potentially pose threats to the Principality of Xeon.
It's true.
He's tracking them to make sure of their every move so that they don't take his empire down.
And they most likely will.
They might,
Or at
yeah.
least we hope. We actually have no idea.
Thoughts on learning more traditional drawing through something like Watts before moving into comic style art?
What?
Not sure.
Is Watts like a secret organization of cyber police?
Maybe
Like
Watts is like
Watts with
some
the
atelier
periods?
art, some sort of like atelier artist, maybe
Oh.
like a bridgeman or something. I don't know.
Oh, Watts Atelier. Okay.
I mean, not saying it's a bad thing to do if you want to learn to draw that way. I'd say you can definitely learn to draw without doing that. I don't know. It's one of those things where a lot of people it's like a 50-50 thing. A lot of people that go the atelier route and do that very, very traditional master drawing stuff like Renaissance style, they get so hung up on the references because it's all drawing from life and sight size method and stuff that they end up not moving past that because the work they end up doing from their head never matches the quality of what they're doing in their atelier studies. So they end up only doing like fine art stuff from reference forever, and they never get out of that because they don't like the way the other work looks because it's not based on a reference. But then occasionally you'll get somebody like Miles who can push past that and find a way to incorporate the Atelier learning with
We're
his own
speaking of
sensibility.
Miles Johnston.
Yeah. So, but that's super rare. The overwhelming, this is just my perspective on it. I mean, feel free to disagree. I'm probably totally wrong.
Yeah, remember
But it's
Dan's
like,
a big fucking loser. So
I'd say like 95% of the people I see go the Atelier route end up only doing fine art study paintings because they can't find a way to get out of it.
yeah,
That's like the majority. That's just my perspective on it from people I've seen do that. Occasionally someone finds a way out. So I'd say if you're going into it, just know that you don't want to get into that trap and constantly be doing personal work on the side that isn't from direct reference so that you don't get into that mindset of the only work I do that looks good is the study work because that fear area is a bad place to be.
it's true. This is true. I just want to let you
How to
guys
deal
know that this throne is the focal point of this panel. So hence the focus. That's why.
Laser Bang Bang says, "Hey guys, one question. How to deal with the negative artist? I work with that guy that just loves to tell everyone that what we do is shit. Like he understands something that we don't. Take him completely seriously.
Yes.
That's the best way to respond to that. When he gives you advice, sit down, take a chair and turn it backwards and sit on it like a cool dad and put your hand under your chin and stare at him and go, "Tell me more.
You go. So what's up, man? I mean, like, what's going on?
Do you have thoughts on other things? What else am I doing that's wrong? Tell me everything you know."
Just go. You
Follow him
seem to
around
have
and
a
ask
good
for
head on your
advice.
shoulders, and I've been looking for some new perspectives. Could you really fill me in on like kind of what's up?
Open up your dating apps if you have them and show him the girls as you swipe and go, "What do you think? Is she good enough? Is she good enough? Is he good enough?" I really need your input on everything because clearly you understand the finer details of life in a way that I never could master.
Or just turn to him and go, "What the fuck are you doing here,
Yeah,
then?"
you're a fucking loser. Just take a piece of paper and write "You're a fucking loser" and tape it to his computer when he goes to the bathroom and let him come back to it. There you go. That's my advice on that.
Or just cut him off in the middle of him complaining. Go, "You're a nerd."
Yeah,
Just wait for
that's
him.
another.
Just wait for
That's
him to
another. That's another good one.
wait for him to start talking and just go, "You're a fucking nerd, dude."
When he starts giving you advice, really loudly go, "Everybody, shut up! He's got some advice." And then go, "Continue. I didn't want anyone to miss your advice."
Or just throw water in his face as he's talking to you, and then go, "It's just,
That's
I'm
another good
sorry, it's
one.
just a
That's
natural
another good
reaction.
one too. Yeah, yeah.
It's just
Tell
what
him you're,
happens to me when people do this."
yeah.
But
Tell him
I,
you're on a medication that causes tremors and you're really sorry.
yeah, go ahead.
I hate those people.
Me too.
The other thing you could do is start dressing just like him and copying his mannerisms and like intentionally making your work look like his. And whenever he says stuff to people, back him up and go, "Yeah, what you guys do sucks." And just mirror him to the point where he realizes how much of a fucking loser he is.
Yeah, just keep talking about it. I fucking hate it here. What do you think, Tyler?
Yeah,
He sounds like a Tyler. I don't know if he's
he
Tyler.
sounds like a Tyler.
Or just get a bunch of guys together and beat him up.
Yeah, yeah, sure. Get some socks and pull him over your head. Then confront him up by his car.
Get a bunch of hung studs and go
Yeah.
find this guy after work. Figure out where his family lives.
If he has a girlfriend, start talking to her. Because she's probably miserable. Any tips on how to get illustration jobs besides knowing a lot of people? Getting your art seen by the people you want to work for by targeting it to them is a good one. Networking is always going to be the easiest way, though, for sure. If you want to do like fancy illustration stuff for like National Geographic, you could also get an agent, but there's only like two agents. What's that guy's name? Solomon something?
Kane
Sure, yeah. There's like two huge agents in the US that deal with all that.
and a lot of
Uh,
Hughes agents.
yeah, a lot of huge agents. If you had the opportunity to make love to any animal, you can only pick one.
A
Which one
dog.
would you choose? Oh,
Just wanted to.
oh,
I
you
wanted to
can't
be too
choose
quick.
humans. Hmm. Any animal.
Probably like a fur ken. Some kind
What
of
kind of what kind of fur can? There's so many.
I don't know.
Tell me.
I don't know them all. Willow wisp, I guess.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the fur can. I don't know. Whenever I hear those stories about getting raped by dolphins, maybe that'd be like confusing, slippery. I don't know.
Yeah,
That might be a fun experience.
but the ocean water's so cold, and it'd be pushing the water into your body
Do it in a pool. I don't know. Like that
like a
MK
hot pool.
Ultra, that MK Ultra psychic lady who had sex with a dolphin. Yeah. There you go. Just do it in a pool.
Yeah, speaking of
There
pool, next
you
question.
go. Will-o-wisp, the fur can, and a dolphin. Will you do portfolio reviews again? Yes. I don't know when. Probably this week sometime. To be honest, I don't think I've ever met those people before. Most artists I meet are pretty modest. Well, let me tell you, they're out there.
Yeah, they're definitely out there.
They're out there. What if that guy is your art director? Whatever. I mean, I don't know. Like,
Still a loser.
yeah, he's still a loser. You should still call him out on it.
Although I do like when people who are losers end up in positions of any kind of power, and then they believe
Yeah.
whatever that job makes them think
The other
they
thing
are.
you could do that actually I had to do this in college to somebody and it worked surprisingly is hang out with them one on one alone away from everybody else and go, listen, I didn't want to do this in front of everybody because I didn't want to embarrass you, but everybody fucking hates you. And these are the reasons why. And you have to stop because you're making an ass of yourself. I'm just trying to tell you this as a nice person. Everybody's making fun of you behind your back. And when you come in the room, we all fucking hate it. We don't want to hate you, but the stuff you do is insufferably lame. So, like, for your own good as a buddy, like, stop it. And, like, it worked. So, you can try that too.
But have you ever heard of when they kill the messenger?
Yeah,
That might also happen.
it might. You got to get them alone, though, because if you do it publicly, what's that? I don't know,
Movie?
some Marcus Aurelius thing. I have no idea.
Oh, I thought you were talking about American Psycho. You get them alone if
Or
things
is it
go
Ben
wrong.
Franklin?
What'd you say?
If you insult a man in public, he'll never forgive you. If you insult a man in private, he might thank you for it later.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
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 How to improve design sense? Well, there's different ways. There's like the Capcom way, where it's like shapes. Shapes are really like, that's one way to go. Another way to go if you're doing concept art is like kind of culture stuff where stuff isn't random. One of the easiest ways to make your stuff look bad is to have it look like there's just stuff all over a thing from all different places that don't make sense. Just covering stuff up and in random things is a good way to make something unmemorable. Um, yeah, it depends what kind of design you're going for.
This is a very Mega Man
Yeah, I was
throne.
gonna say this is like if he was in a tube, he'd just be in a Dr. Light thing. Just have a tube come up from the around him, and he's just in a capsule.
I don't know why, whenever I draw anything mechanical, it always falls back to Capcom.
Cause it's the coolest.
Like, that'll never not be the case.
Where can you find more of my art? Nowhere, because I haven't been showing it for a very long time, because it's all been for a miniature company. I've been working on. I did start a Instagram finally, so I'll probably put stuff up there as I finish new stuff. Mainly just working on books, though.
What's your Instagram?
Oh God, I think it's Dan Warren Art. I think.
Really?
I think.
You
Let me
actually
check.
got that?
I don't know. I gotta check. I might not have.
Because I know your name is like super common.
Yeah, I know. Um,
What the fuck? Fuck you, you piece of shit. Sorry.
what's happening?
That's usually what I do by myself.
Yeah, what's that?
Um, it was selecting every layer when I was trying to fill this instead of selecting just the layers I wanted.
Man, should have got more sleep last night.
Yeah, Dan's dying right now,
Would
everybody.
have been would have been good to get more sleep last night. It might be Daniel Warren 86. I don't know.
Okay. I just
I've
figured.
been I've been working on a personal project, not so much a portfolio, but would that be something you guys would take a look at for feedback? Also, what's this about hung studs? Can I have one? Well, I mean, hung stud is a zone you got to get into. We can't give that to you.
Yeah, that's something you earn.
Yeah, you got to find your way there and own it. In terms of personal project, if it's artwork stuff with like very brief descriptions, yeah, I'd look at that for a portfolio review. But if it's like someone sent me a Google document with like paragraphs of world building, and no, I'm not. I can't do that. Like, I'm not trying to be a dick, but it's like I can't read 30 pages of world building and then look at some sketches and crit them based on 30 pages of reading. I just don't have time. But if it's portfolio stuff and it's like, very, very obviously laid out what the stuff is, then sure. Ask Dave, was he rushing or was he dragging?
I don't know what that means.
I'm going to guess it's a Whiplash quote.
Uh,
It's my guess. It's my shot in the dark.
rushing. I don't know.
I don't have any more good questions, but I wish to hear like you try to pronounce my real name. Okay, so it's Grzepedrycz. Okay, so
Gerzepashek. I didn't even remember everything you just said.
uh Grazgor Pedres? I have no idea.
The mumble. The garbage.
I don't know what a GRZ is. I'm guessing it's not Grizz.
It's a grunch. It's
And
pronounced
Greg,
grunch.
it's something like Gregor
No. Can I see it?
Pedrix.
Grunch.
Yeah, it's right there.
I
I
think
don't know how you pronounce the GRZ. I've never seen that.
it's Grunch Pevich.
Branch Pevich.
It's Captain Grunch.
Gregor Petrish. Do you just
No.
not pronounce the Z's? Yeah, I have no idea.
His name's Corbo Lightfoot. I've actually heard of him.
Do I ever talk to my Photoshop? Yeah. Do you?
Me?
Yeah, like if randomly the
I
the
just
pen
talked to
stops
this.
working and it freezes and I go, "Come on."
I go, fuck you, you stupid piece of shit. Fuck
There you go.
you. I just do that over and over. And it doesn't get better. And nothing happens.
What are your thoughts on specialization versus being a generalist in concept art industry these days? Generalist, you'll have more jobs that pay less. Specialist, you'll have less jobs that pay more.
and you can specialize in multiple things. You can be
Yep.
better at a lot of things than, other people. Like some people might be generalists, but it's like, you can be bad at all of them. And the same thing goes for a specialist. It's like you can specialize in something, that doesn't mean you're skilled.
See if this says, could Dave talk a little about posing his characters? Your poses always feel really animated, like everything's super intense. I don't think you can get that from just doing line drawing.
Uh, what? Like, so they're saying that like my line drawings suck.
No, they're saying that your poses you put your characters in feel animated. They don't feel super stiff.
Okay. Yeah. I I mean, to be honest, if I'm being like completely, I mean, like what I actually believe, like I love action stuff. Like I think about it all the time. I grew up watching like only action movies, and I used to do flips in my backyard and fight trees. And my dad used to help me
Oh,
make
hold on.
swords.
I guess I'm an idiot who didn't get enough sleep. Hold on.
What?
Live drawing? Okay, so could Dave talk a little about posing his characters? Your poses always feel really animated, like everything's super intense. I don't think you can get that from just doing live drawing.
Oh, like life drawing. Like he's
I mean,
saying
you
you
don't
you
like,
can't get that from doing just anatomy
yeah,
studies at like
yeah,
a
like,
life drawing course.
right.
Okay.
Okay, that makes more sense.
The same thing applies. It's
Yeah.
just I grew up watching action movies. I played with toys all the time. I did flips in my backyard. I thought about it constantly. It's the thing I pay attention to the most. It's what I'm drawn to. Like some people are drawn to like certain things in design. Some people are drawn to, I don't know, like certain kinds of genres or characters or whatever. I've always been most interested in like movement, in the way things feel, and that's kind of what I gravitate towards. So I think that that's just part of it. It's like because I think about it so much, I know exactly what I want to see. And if anything comes like a little bit naturally to me, it's like posing. Like I remember the first time seeing, and this is gonna sound really lame. I remember the first time seeing like the way the Power Rangers jumped and thinking
Yeah,
that's
right.
perfect.
Yeah.
Like I thought like that's the right amount of like theatrical and like cool, and I would like focus on that, and I was really into specifics of like how you'd pose. So like when we'd play outside when I was a kid, I had to have all that stuff right. That's why I got into a lot of like Japanese stuff because of how
Hmm.
like theatrical like the action was. And the same thing goes for like Guyver and everything else. Like I was really drawn to that. So I didn't like aim to learn that. I aimed to be better at like studying, or I aimed to be better at drawing anatomy so that I
Mm.
could do those things successfully that were in my head.
I think the stream's dead.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the stream died. You turned into a robot for me for a second, and then the stream died.
So are we just
Yeah,
offline?
yeah, we're offline.
Hmm. Let me. Sorry, everybody. Sorry, everybody in the YouTube. I'm going to stop recording and then start streaming again. Okay. We should be coming back,
Hmm.
hopefully.
Yeah, it says we're live. No. Yes. Yes. Okay, we're live again.
Okay. So I was talking about. Are we live?
Yes, you were talking about downloading Poser. and tracing all the models on it to get the most anatomically correct characters.
That's very true. That's exactly what I was doing.
Yeah. He said the only thing you don't always have a camera on you, and as much as I'd recommend taking photos of friends and tracing them, posers just the way to go. It's the industry standard.
It, it says we're live, but my screen's black on Twitch.
I can see your drawing of Char on my end, so I don't know.
Okay, there it is. Okay, cool. All right, I'll close that again and get back to it. Okay, I don't know where it left off, so I'll just kind of,
Oh no, are we offline again?
for real.
Did you end the stream?
No,
Oh my god. Hold on.
I'll start streaming again.
It's offline for me.
All right. Well, this is all one recording, so it's recording.
Okay.
Sorry, everybody, if you're seeing this now, finally.
Oh boy.
Are we back?
Let me reload. Yeah.
I really don't know what's going on.
Yeah. I don't we don't can you, if you guys can hear us, it's died 3 times now and we don't know why. It might just be weak internet connection or something. So if it dies again, we probably won't come back on. But yeah, we're not sure what's happening.
No.
It just died multiple times. Dave was trying to tell everybody to go download Poser and
Yes.
trace 3D models for the most accurate anatomy under the
Yes.
sun.
Okay, so are we back now?
Yeah.
All right. So what I was saying is that because I was attracted to all of those things where you would have like really crazy anatomy and like posing that was unrealistic and cartoons, anime, whatever, that's what I gravitated towards naturally. So when I studied anatomy, it was more to back that stuff up in my head so that I could do it in my pieces successfully rather than looking for that. I already had that in my head, and I was trying to find a way to do it better on paper. That's pretty much what I was saying. Did that make it?
Think so. I'm just looking to see if it dies again.
Sorry, everybody. I don't know what happened. At least we usually don't have these problems.
No,
It
not
used
for a
to be a
while.
constant terror back in the
Yeah.
live streamer days, or
Oh
whatever that
God.
site
Right.
was
The
called.
quality drops.
Yeah, Procaster.
Back when it was streaming in 240p.
Oh, I know. It's
Was
crazy
Poser
just how
was
fast
Poser
it
a
goes.
joke? Yes.
Yes, Poser was a
Yes, that
joke.
was a joke. That was a joke, sorry. Don't do that.
It's kind of funny to think back on like the old arguments for things that kind of come from the same world as like Poser, where people used to talk about like, photo manipulation just because like the industry demands it,
Right.
and it's like all about, you know, making money. And when I look at like work now, I don't see that at all. Like having the ability to just like improve yourself and get faster just to maintain whatever you believe is the way you want to work. Like
Right.
it's not impossible. Like it's
No.
something you can definitely achieve, and it challenges you to do something that you're maybe not able to do right now. And I think that using things like Poser and, if you don't want to use photo manipulation, using things like photo manipulation, it only stunts your growth. Like it's good for, quick fixes and things that you need to get out immediately. But kind of what that shows you in some respect is that that's something you could work on. Whatever the thing that stopped you from being able to complete your thing without resorting to shortcuts, whatever that was, that's something that you could improve at
Right.
and grow and be able to do successfully. So take it as like maybe use the shortcut this time just to get your deadline out, but the next time you attack the same problem, try and just learn those things for yourself so that you don't rely on all these programs, because you don't want to rely primarily on tools, especially on something like let's say it's important to you that you're able to draw as an artist. Using Poser, like what's going to happen if you want to go to like a convention and do sketches for people and things, and or you're in a place where suddenly Poser's not available or whatever.
Hmm.
You want to do like a watercolor painting and you want to be able to paint something, you know.
Or your art director wants a pose that poser can't pull off.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like a whole thing of it's always better to actually know how to do the things you want to do and understand the function and the form and everything, so that you're never trapped and you're never relying solely on something to help you because you can't do it on your own. I mean, being independent like that, having those kind of skills, it's, I mean, maybe it doesn't matter to you, but I don't know. In my opinion, that's really vital to being like a successful artist.
What's your guys' thoughts on fanzines or selling popular character parody comics? I don't really know anything about fanzines, but parody comics is fine.
Yeah, I know a lot of like companies are, really all about their lawyers when it comes to that. But for us, we don't mind that kind of thing personally. Like we like fan art and stuff, and obviously, as a
Any
Judge
tip?
Char.
Yeah, yeah, seriously. Any tips for starting a community for learning? I'm learning solo at the moment, and the motivation to work 8+ hours a day is hard to muster at times. If your goal is to make a community, I'd say make the goals really clear. Say, like, this is what I want to get better at. This is why. And if other people want to get better at it, we can do it together. And then if other people do join you, like I'd say streaming community is probably the best way to start. That's what we both did. And other people are already streaming. So group challenges are good because it brings an audience in that wants to see multiple people tackle something from different, angles, basically. So, simultaneously streaming with other people and going, we're both going to do the same thing. We're both going to do this challenge and look at the results with each other and critique each other and like, look for what could be better, what was good, what to focus on that are strengths. Like just start small like that and then let it build organically. Don't do the thing where I'm going to build a huge forum and make all the sub forums and then just hope people come. Like do like a grassroots thing. Like start streaming with a friend, bring more people on, start doing little group challenges, let the group get bigger organically, and then let it go from there. And if it gets to a point where you do want a hub site and it makes sense to have one, then you can do that. But yeah, everything you need is here on Twitch. You just stream, do some, say, I want to get better at this stuff, so I'm going to study it live. The pressure of doing it live will ensure that you study it because the embarrassment of not doing it once you've told everybody you're going to do it will hold you to it. And then, start doing challenge stuff with friends and bringing other people in, and pretty soon you'll have a community.
Yep. I mean, look at what we do on here. Like when we started doing Twitch, we really didn't have that many people hanging
Yeah.
out. And you just got to do something consistently. Like we've been doing the streams every Monday. And now we're starting to get, like I think right now when I just looked, we had around like, what, we like hover around 100 people.
Hmm.
And yeah, that's just something that you kind of like build over time. And whatever you think a community is, it's like it'll build naturally if people want to come hang out.
Do we know any streaming communities that are going? I don't personally. I know people that stream. I don't know any. I know there are communities, especially with animators. But I don't know if there's any for 2D art right now. But start one. If there isn't something, that doesn't mean it can't exist. It means that you could be the one to start it.
Yeah.
Come up with a really cool title for it that no one has ever thought of before, like Art Jam. Don't call it an art jam. How would you go about deciding what style or content to develop? I.e., I've always loved the more grotesque, painterly, skull and shark kind of stuff, which I'm kind of okay at, but I recently found I can do cutesy. I feel like I'm pulled between multiple styles and content might never really get good at anything because I'm not focusing. We can do both. Just, do one at a time or do one for a certain number of hours a day and one for less time, or there's no reason, because that's the thing, is like fundamentals, it's like Latin. It translates across everything else. So it's like, get good at your fundamentals and your studying, and you'll get better at the cutesy stuff and the grotesque stuff at the same time, because it's both built on the same
Yeah,
rules.
it doesn't matter really. It's
Doesn't
like you
matter.
can do whatever you want. Like I don't know. I would say more. Just wait. I can't wait till people get the book in their hands. Once they
I
have the volume
know.
two stuff,
We
we'll be
can't
able to
talk about
show a
it.
bit more.
Yeah.
And this it kind of applies to that. But you don't have to worry about sticking to any one thing. Like there's no rules to this.
What's a good number of pieces to have for a print store online, and should the prints be limited runs? You'll definitely sell. Well, I don't know. It depends what the
Depends
prints
who
are.
you are
Some
too.
sometimes you can sell more with limited runs, but it depends what it is. It needs to feel special to sell stuff with limited runs. Um, there needs to be something about it, like for example, if Jon Lossel, who's this fine artist who does print runs with a lot of gold leaf, if he just, you know, if he just did regular prints and said it's a limited run, I wouldn't care and I wouldn't get one. But what he does is he like presses like special stuff into the paper and embosses stuff with gold leaf and does, numbers and signs everything, and really makes like this fancy product of like, this isn't just a print of artwork. This is like, he mats it, he puts stamps on it, he makes it like an official looking thing that there's only a couple hundred of. And then it's like, that's a much cooler thing to have than just, it's just a print and there's only 200 of them, so get it now. Like, it feels more special. So I'd say if you're going to do limited runs, put something into it that makes it more than just a print. In terms of how many prints to have on your store, I'd say no more than 20.
Yeah, it depends who you are. Like I think if you're like a bigger artist, then you can do like this couple prints because they sell out fast.
Right.
But it's kind of up in the air because you also don't want a ton of options because that creates indecision and people don't really buy anything.
You'll also sell way more at events than online. So if
That's
you're going to
true.
get into the print selling thing, I'd say don't focus so much on an online store, because that, unless you're doing an event where it's like this print's only available for this amount of time and you have an audience that cares about the event that's willing to buy it, most people don't make any real money selling prints online. They do make a ton of money selling prints at conventions.
This is
So
true.
yeah, because then at conventions you can bring like 50 prints and go, oh, well, they're 20 bucks each, but if you buy 3, it's only 40 bucks. And like, you can do those things in person that don't translate well to an online store and get people to buy more stuff for discounts and bundles and things, and you can make way more money. But yeah,
Also, there's something about seeing something in person. Like you
yeah.
can get away with a lot in that way. Like when you see things on the internet, they kind of don't have the same value as when you see them in person. It's like some things might look shittier on the internet because of what you're used to seeing on the internet. It's like the environment dictates like I don't know, the quality. So seeing it at a convention without, that screen in front of you, you see something different. Like I don't really know how to explain why that is,
Hmm.
but it's definitely true because like you can look at a piece. Like I've seen pieces online where I go like that's ugly, and then I'll see it in person and I'll see something different. I'll be like, oh, that's cool. Like I don't know why that is, but there's something about it's just like I don't know, looking at it on your phone or looking at it on the screen. It doesn't
Right.
do the thing justice. Like you kind of are missing a lot. And when you are selling things to people at a convention, they're more likely to buy in that way. I think where it's like, oh yeah, it doesn't matter if you're the best artist in the world. It's just like, it's almost just like fun to like support the person and have something cool and unique and whatever. I don't know.
Mike asks, what was that Google survey, by the way, the massive black one? I think you're talking about the one Marco put out.
It's the Massive Black Forum one. I don't know if he put that out.
I thought Marco put that out.
I don't know, because it's when I looked at it, it was just Massive Black was listed, not Six More Vodka.
Okay, sure. Maybe Marco just shared it. But yeah, I think they're thinking about making a new forum. I don't know what they would put on it. Like, I don't know if they're just gonna make it like what conceptart.org was forever ago, or if they'd change stuff to it. Like, I definitely fill out the survey and let them know what you think if you're interested in having them bring something back.
Yeah, I filled it out.
Definitely worth it.
I said I don't like the clutter of ArtStation.
There you go.
I do not like it.
Don't you need a merchant permit to sell stuff at cons though? I mean, I don't not in America. You just need a you need to get accepted to the con and get a table.
Yeah, I've never done that.
I've
Maybe
never
it's
heard. I mean,
illegal,
maybe in other
but
countries, I have no idea.
you
If
can
you
come
if you get
after us.
accepted at the con with an artist table, you're yeah, that's all you need to do to sell stuff. I'm pretty sure. I've never had to do anything else.
And if you do need the permit, what are you, some kind of nerd?
For some reason, I really thought that Marco was making a forum, and I don't know why.
I don't know. Maybe you just wanted it.
I did want it. It's because he was talking about it forever. Have we seen Ready Player One? Uh, no. I don't really have any interest in seeing it.
Yeah, I don't want to
It.
see it.
I mean, I get that a lot of animators worked on it, and it's like a lot of stuff is in it and stuff, but none of the trailers looked interesting to me. The Uncanny Valley stuff was kind of a turnoff, and like it just looks really forgettable. Like I don't know, like it just looks super forgettable. It looks like what's going to happen like when I went and saw Avatar. We're in the theater, you're like, "Wow, what a spectacle." And then the next day you're like, "What?"
I think even calling it Avatar is giving it too much.
Yeah, well, I just mean like it looks so like I already know what the movie is without seeing it. Like it's so by the like it looks so by the numbers
Yeah.
like Avatar was that it's like I've already seen the movie without seeing it. I don't know.
Well,
I
from what I
maybe
understand of the
maybe I'm
book, it's
wrong.
not like it's a super deep thing.
No. I mean, yeah, it's Steven Spielberg, but what does that mean these days?
Yeah, and I
It's like
don't.
saying but it's I mean, it's not like saying but it's George Lucas. He's not that bad, but yeah, I don't know. He's good at making movies, but it's not like he was in the 80s.
Yeah, I don't have any interest in seeing that movie. It doesn't look cool to me.
Something about like the marketing that worked on a lot of people did the opposite to me. Where like when I saw the trailer where a ton of Halo guys like Master Chiefs were running over a hill, and then like the characters from Overwatch were like part of the army. Then the Iron Giant started walking over the crowd. I was like, I don't want to see this. Was this fucking Wreck It Ralph 2? The fuck are we doing? Like, I don't know. It just looked so lame.
I agree.
Yeah. I'll probably watch it when it comes to Netflix just to have it to reference. But yeah, I don't know.
I've been pretty happy about YouTube's thing of just renting videos.
Yeah.
I do that. That's how I saw like the Thor Ragnarok and stuff. I'll probably do that. I won't do that. I don't. I have zero interest in seeing Ready Player One.
Yeah,
That
I
movie
don't
looks like it
really.
fucking
It just does.
stinks.
It looks so boring. I don't get it. It just looks so forgettable and bland.
Yeah, I don't want to see that.
But yeah, anyway, that's us being curmudgeons.
Nah, it fucking stinks. The movie stinks. movie fucking blows.
Yeah, I just can't. I can't.
That movie's gonna
I can't.
blow.
I can't be interested.
Get out of here.
I really can't be interested.
Sorry, everybody who worked on it. I don't care.
Sorry, everyone.
I don't care. You did a good job on the effects and everything. But I don't want to see that.
There's only one thing people have been telling me when I say I don't want to see it. Well, okay, two things.
Gundam's in it.
One is the theater experience, though. It's an experience. I'm like, I don't care. And then the other one is it's it's the Shining scene, I guess. I guess there's a scene where they go into the movie The Shining, which isn't in the book, apparently. I never read the book. I just watched Red Letter Media's review of it. And everyone's saying it's worth it just for that scene because it's just like The Shining. And I'm like, I've seen The Shining though, so why do I care?
Damn.
Like what? Like, am I going to be in the theater and then they go into The Shining and I'm going to go, it looks just like The Shining. Oh my god! Like what? What is that? I'm going to pay $15 to go see a movie because it looks like a movie I've already seen. I don't get it.
Yes. Yes.
I don't get it.
Fuck you.
I want to see a albino elf, a digital white elf with blonde hair, walk around The Shining. I don't know. The unfortunate thing is I actually have to go in like 1 minute, so I'm just ending this super negative. Shitting all over Ready Player One, and then I gotta go to the gym.
It's cool, man. I don't want to see it either. Let me.
I'll tell you
open up
one
the
thing that I
chat.
do think is funny is I watched the new Solo trailer, and the amount of references to Shadows of the Empire on N64 is overwhelming. So it's pretty funny to know that most of the artists probably played that because of how old it is. So like seeing the train stuff was like, oh, I remember that level. Seeing the robot with Lando who looks just like Lebo, I was like, oh, I remember that. Shadows of the Empire would have been a better movie. Should have just made that.
What was that dude's name? The shitty alien.
Dash Render,
No, Dash Rendar is fake Han Solo. What's the shitty
Prince
alien?
Prince Zizor,
Zizor. That's what it is.
Prince Zizor in his palace.
Zizor's palace.
Yeah,
His palace. So lame. It's awesome.
yeah. It was like someone on foot fighting an ATST, and then a train scene where it's like going around a bank and they're almost gonna fall off it, and then it's like a robot that looks just like Lebo, and I was like, oh, I remember this N64 game. Good thing you're making a movie out of it.
I was really surprised to learn that Mike Butkus, the amazing movie poster artist who has like a Drew Struzan kind of look-alike, if you know his work, he did all of the cutscenes for Shadows of the Empire.
I didn't know that. That makes a ton of sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes a ton of sense. Wow, they pixelated the hell out of his stuff.
I mean, I'm not sure if he did every single one, but he did a bunch. I know that.
I can see it now that you mention it. I wonder how many Star Wars movies they're going to make at Disney where the entire trailer working hinges on a robot being the comic relief.
One more.
Like you can't.
One more shot.
How many more? How many more is it going to be where the robot's the one that just doesn't get it? The robot's the fun member of the team. Like can we keep doing that?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess we can.
Never gonna run out of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, now we need to figure out who Batman's Treadwell is for this comic.
Treadwell?
Yeah.
You mean the robot he leaves behind on Tatooine?
Yeah. Who
Hmm.
is Batman's Treadwell?
Is that real? Is the droid's name actually L337? So it's Leet? If it is, I'm not gonna see the movie. If that's real, I'm out.
And I'm out.
You lost me.
And with that being said, I'm out.
Mm-mm-mm-mm.
I did fuck nothing in this
Well, it was a short stream
whole
with a lot of
stream.
cuts.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I gotta go.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna end this in a minute. I just gotta draw this one last screen, but
I'll hang out.
if you gotta hop off,
I'll wait for the screen.
yeah, I'm sorry, everybody.
Sorry, I'm so sleepy. Maybe we'll do another stream later to compensate.
We'll do something later. Maybe not today, but
Yeah, we'll see.
see what happens.
If anyone's listening who ordered the books, there was a China delay. If you don't know the details, they ran out of the red cloth to make the covers and didn't tell us. We sent our guy over there to figure what was going on. He went over and found out that they had run out of red cloth and ordered more from the UK manufacturer. All of the interior pages are printed. Some of the books are assembled. They ran out of red cloth and couldn't finish the order, which is why the shipment got delayed out of March. That's where we're at. It sucks. There's nothing we could do about it. That's just what it is. But they gave us a timeline of when everything is going to ship. They confirmed that they got the red cloth back in stock. They're currently working right now to fulfill the order. So I think is stuff still available in the shop?
Just the volume 1 and 2 packs.
Okay. Yeah. If you'd like to get a volume 1 and 2 combo pack, you can go to stevelichman.com. We're going to be closing orders soon, though, because stuff's going to ship very soon.
Yeah, or at least your order will, if you order now, your pre-order will ship out a little later.
Yeah, we're sick of China too, Bog Sloth. It's been like the longest series of bullshit.
It's something I can't even. I mean, I can joke about it, but I just. My hatred.
You joke about it as the camera cuts to your fist clenching
Yes.
and breaking a pencil.
Like, this is honestly like a relief for that stuff, is getting to do
Uh,
this dumb comic.
Sonny Boy, I think my Instagram is Daniel Warren 86. I think. I think it's just that. If it isn't, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know how bad he wants to check out what you're doing in your day-to-day life.
I don't post on it much.
Okay. Yeah, so I'll pull out of here, take a look at the whole thing. We can make these a little easier to see so you can check out what's going on. Alright, let me do a flip. So, there's the Bat Zinger fighting Devilman. Girl's yelling over to Char. Char's over here on his throne. He's looking at, Geralt. And then Lupin the Third. He's in his spaceship. He has Rose. You know how it goes. And then he's speaking with the Ninja Turtles here, working with them to figure out how to stop Bruce Wayne, who may or may not be the billionaire funding the Foot Clan. And we have all the Gundams flying off to war. Them saying, I think we can trust this guy. Blah, blah, blah. There you go. This is the next page. So right now, just obviously working through the most detailed section of the
Mm-hmm.
page, which is Char's Throne. And now that that's pretty much done, we can move on to other stuff, and we'll probably do another stream at some point since we
Mm-hmm.
didn't really do much today. Anime version of Ready Player One?
Nah,
No. This
nah.
is.
Because the characters actually have meanings to the plot. They're not just avatars in this. This is a
That's
very
a real
deep.
reason.
It's a very deep plot. I don't know if you're fully
It's very
invested
deep.
in just what Char is doing here with Bruce Wayne.
Yeah. Okay. Uh, we'll probably be back at some point. We'll post about it on Twitter if we're gonna do another one of these. But we'll be around if things are moving along with other work and all that shit. Maybe like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, maybe tomorrow or something. So, see you all. Thanks for coming. Thanks for all the questions. As always, if you want to support the stream, you can subscribe on here, or you can buy one of our books from stevelichman.com or acceptable comic. No, stevelichman.com. I think acceptablecomics.com also goes to Steve Lichman. So anyway, you can pre-order books there and all that, or just share them, and that helps too. We appreciate it. We love you. Thanks so much, and we'll see you later.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.